So from as we know from our previous video that we have to create a HTML file rather than running an application for an example. So now I will go ahead and create a index.html file. Okay. So now as we have created index.html file, we need to have a sample code, right? So we'll go to W3 schools in order to have that sample code. So now I have taken this code. I already have this code copied at one place, notepad. Okay, so you could see over here. So rather having the same code, you could edit whatever there is inside of this, and you could keep this paragraph as well. But for myself, I have changed this to hello RVCE. So we're gonna copy all of this code and we're gonna paste it over there. Okay, so Control V. Okay, so in order to exit this, so we have to first enter escape and then enter colon, as you can see over here. So now write WQ exclamation mark. So what does that mean is right quit and click on enter. So now if you ls that, you could see that there's an index.html file over here. So now in order to access that index.html file, what we are doing is we are deploying a Python server, right? So Python 3, sorry, so I should have wait, as it is a virtual machine, it's gonna take some time. Okay, okay, so now we have to enter -m http dot server, as we are running on traffic 8000 port number 8000, we enter that, right? Okay, so as you could see over here, so the traffic http traffic is being served on the port number 8000, right? So we now go ahead into AWS and we try to now set up our load balancers. So in the as we have discussed, we know what's the purpose of the load balancers. So we directly are gonna go to load balancers. So you could find load balancers in the EC2. So I'm gonna type EC2. Okay, so scroll down until you see load balancers. So we have to create one for ourselves. So now we have to hit on create load balancers. So hit on create. Okay. So we'll name it as my uh, load balancer balancer. Okay, so make sure that you have the scheme selected to the internet facing, otherwise we're not gonna see our desired output. Okay, so now we have to select our VPC, that is my project VPC, and we have to click availability zones as we are um, balancing the load in two different availability zones. So as you could see, it's throwing some error over here. It is because we are deploying our load balancers into the private subnet, but that's not possible. So we have to select both the public subnets, as the traffic is going to be routed from the load balancers into the public subnets and to the instances into the private subnet. Okay, so we are gonna select my project ST. So at the moment we're gonna select this the security group that we created while we created the auto scaling group. Okay, so click on that. Okay, so now we also have to create a target group for ourselves. Okay, so make sure you select the security group that you created during the time of uh, creating an auto scaling group, because we have some inbound traffic rules set for these security groups. So we have to configure it according to the needs of our project. Okay, so now we have to create a group for ourselves. Okay, so now we go ahead and create target group for ourselves. Okay, so now we have to name a target group. So I'm gonna name it as my target grp sorry, grp. Okay, so now we are allowing HTTP traffic to run on port 8000. Okay, and we select my project VPC, and even if you have some other VPC selected over here, make sure you have the uh, VPC, the correct VPC selected. Okay, so we have selected my project VPC, so we click on next. And now while selecting target groups, make sure that you select the instances that are running in private subnets. Okay, so we are selecting this and not the Bastion host. So exclude the Bastion host. So because our target groups are the instances running in private subnets. Okay, so click on include as pending below and hit on create target group. Okay, now you could see over here our target group is successfully created. So now we have to go back to creation of application load balancer, and now, as you could see, it's not displaying the target group yet. So we have to refresh that. We have to refresh that. Uh, so now we select our target group that we need. Okay, everything that we need is set to the right configurations. Now we hit on create load balancers. Okay. So it's gonna take some time until the load balancer is completely provisioned. So until that happens, we have to wait. Yeah, as we could see, our my load balancer is back into the action from provisioning state. Now we click over that. So you could see that the HTTP port is not reachable. So if you have followed me along, at every second you're going to end up into the situation for sure. So what we have to do is we have to change the inbound rules that we had set initially. So we click on security. So okay, so click on edit. uh okay, that's not the case. So we go back. Okay, so hit click on this security group, and we have to allow HTTP traffic to go through. So it's taking some time to load. Okay, so okay, so we have to edit the inbound rule. Okay, we also have to make sure that we also add HTTP traffic to this. So we click on add rule, click on custom TCP, and click on HTTP. And you could see it as by default taking port 80, but we have configured it the traffic to be routed to the port 8000. Okay, so now, so when you click on anywhere, and click on save rules. Okay, click on save rules. Okay, so now when you see, when you go over here, so the error has went. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to copy this domain name over here to the tab over here and paste it over here, and then we click enter. We should see our page loading. Okay, yeah, you could see that hello RVCE is being displayed. So that means every configuration that we did so far is according to the uh, desired output that we were intending to. So similarly, you could um, upload any application that you have to run over internet over the AWS. So this is an example. So this is actually a good example to let you know that what we had done was, so let me take you to the image. So what we actually had done was, so we had put a load balancer, uh, Bastion host here, and what we did was via this host, Bastion host, we were able to get into the private subnet one. And note that the application load balancer is um, directing us to the right private subnet. It is not taking us to the server or the instance that is present in the private subnet tool, because we had configured our requirements in a way that the traffic goes to the right instance. So by this, we come to the end of our project. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.